What's up? It's Jeff from RetroArcadeGaming.com. That's all one word, and it's time for another edition of Battle of the Ports. In this series, we take a look at a specific classic arcade game and see how well or poorly it's been ported to various home console and computer systems over the years. I've had a bit of a busy schedule the last week and a half, so I'm going to take a look at a game today that really hasn't been ported to a whole lot of systems. I've got some heavy hitters coming up down the road in the next few weeks, including Galaga, Dig Dug, Jungle Hunt, Joust, just to name a few, so this is actually a nice change of pace for me. Up this week, we're going to look at Circus Charlie, which was released by Konami in 1984. I actually really enjoyed this game when it came out, but I also found it to be a bit creepy. I don't know if it's the whole theme of the game, the clown, the monkeys, the knife throwers, the fire breathers, not to mention charring a lion to death if you didn't do real well. I don't know. It just found it kind of creepy. So to reinforce that, I've kind of found the creepiest bezel I could find to go along with it. There's actually 6 levels for you to progress through in this game, and the goal is simply to reach the end of each level. Bonus points are awarded for speed, and there's various money bags, coins, other things that can be collected throughout the levels. Level 1 involves riding a lion and jumping through flaming hoops. Level 2 has you walking a tightrope and jumping over monkeys who also happen to be walking the tightrope, but in the opposite direction that you are. Level 3 involves jumping from trampoline to trampoline and avoiding the knife throwers and fire breathers. Level 4, which is my least favorite, you jump from rolling ball to rolling ball. Level 5, you trade in the lion for a pony, which you ride. Pony goes down the screen, you've got to jump up, land on trampolines, and then land safely again on the pony on the other side of the trampolines. Kind of a goofy level, kind of fun, kind of frustrating all at the same time. Finally, level 6 has you transition to a trapeze artist, where you must safely swing to the end of each level. There's 2 versions of the game. A linear version, which plays level 1 through 6 in order. Excuse me. After you clear level 6, the game starts up again with increased difficulty. There's a level select version of the game, which allows you to play any of the 6 levels in any order, even repeating the same level at an increased difficulty level. Once you've played all the available sub-levels of that level, you have to move on to a different level. Once you've beaten all the levels and the sub-levels, then the trampoline level just repeats itself forever. All of the levels except the trampoline level have 5 sub-levels. The trampoline level has 7. And then the trapeze level goes on forever. It's a fun game, but I mean, let's face it, the circus in 1984 form isn't exactly politically correct anymore, so I don't know how well this game holds up after all these years, but here's a look at the original Circus Charlie arcade game by Konami. This is the non-level select version, released in 1984. So there we go. That's my best effort. Like I said, I don't know what happened on the the tightrope level there. Why I lost so many guys, and I got to the rolling ball level, which is my absolute least favorite. So anyway, we're going to take a look next at the Commodore 64 port, which was released by Parker Brothers in 1984. This is not a real good port, in my opinion, and you know, it omits 2 of the 6 arcade levels. Level 3, the trampoline level, and level 6, the trapeze level, didn't make the cut, which I don't know why. The horse riding trampoline level, which is level 5, simply reuses the lion from the first level instead of a different sprite for the pony. It doesn't really play smooth. It's choppy. The music is okay, and it's one of the few that will actually use the actual arcade game music. However, the music doesn't flow through the level. It ends mid-level and starts over. It's really pretty annoying. An attempt to loop the music and make it sound like a single track could have gone a long way with this one. From the main menu, you can select easy or hard difficulty. Skip the easy. It's way too easy. The hard is a more accurate representation of the actual arcade game, at least as close as you can get it with this lackluster port for the Commodore 64. Have a look for yourself. Circus Charlie, Parker Brothers, 1984, the Commodore 64 port. So there you go. I mean, I think I played it long enough for you to get a sense of what I was talking about the repeating music. Rumor has it that this was expected for the Atari 2600 as well. There's an order sheet floating around out there that shows Circus Charlie for the 2600. Around the same time frame by Parker Brothers. Unfortunately, the video game crash happened, and the title never got released. Based on the Commodore 64 port, I'm not sure you're missing a whole lot. Up next, we're going to take a look at the NES port, which was released by Soft Pro in 1986, and sadly, like the Commodore 64 port, this omits a level, but hey, at least it's not 2. The trampoline level didn't find its way into this port, which was, I think, level 3 from the original arcade game. Graphically, it looks decent. A step up from the Commodore 64 port. It lacks the vibrancy of the arcade original. It just seems a bit dull. There's some questionable hit detection on landings and jumps, but overall, I mean, this plays pretty decent. It's not bad. The music in typical Nintendo fashion has an electronic vibe to it, which I've pretty much come to expect from all their titles. It doesn't include the original music for some for some reason. But uses other public domain music from the day. Have a look at the NES port of Circus Charlie, released by SoftPro in 1986. Yeah, okay, it's the rolling ball level. It's just my least favorite level of all of them. It's just evil. Anyway, up next, we're going to take a look at the MSX port, the Microsoft MSX port, which is actually the basis for our next few ports. And this was released by Konami themselves in 1984. Again, it omits the trampoline level or level 3 from the arcade original. The graphics on this one are decent, but not spectacular. And again, it lacks the vibrancy of the original arcade game. Sounds are similar in that they're decent, but not spectacular. And again, it strays a bit from the music in the original arcade game. So here's a look at the MSX port of Circus Charlie, released in 1984, which is actually going to be the basis for our next two ports. Enjoy. So the MS export is the first of our ports to introduce a new feature, which is the difference between a tap on the jump button or a hold on the jump button. There's a difference in the there you go. I just showed you a difference in how long it jumps if you hold versus tap, which makes a big change in gameplay in my opinion. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. The MS Export is the first one that introduces that. So up next we're going to take a look at the SG-1000, the Sega SG-1000 port, which was ported directly from that same MS Export. It was released mainly in Taiwan and South Korea, and it's a homebrew port released by Aronix in 1984. It plays, sounds, and looks almost identical to the MSX port as expected, and it omits the same level. Here's a look at the Sega SG-1000 Circus Charlie port, released in 1984 by Aronix. So there's my best effort on that one. Up next, we're going to take a look at the Commodore, or the ColecoVision port, which was released by Team Pixelboy in 2011. And again, this is a port of the MSX port, the Sega SG-1000 port. As expected, it looks and sounds very similar. The audio, for some reason, appears to be a bit cleaner in this port. But here's a look at the Team Pixelboy port of Circus Charlie for the ColecoVision, released in 2011, because we were all rocking our ColecoVisions in 2011. Enjoy this one. Yeah, that was a pretty poor effort. Anyway. Up next, we're going to take a look at the PlayStation port, which appeared on the Konami Arcade Classics compilation, which was released in 1999 by Konami themselves. This one not only includes Circus Charlie, but also a bunch of Konami classics, as you would expect from the title. Kung Fu, Puyan, Scramble, Rock and Roll, Kicker, Super Cobra, Road Fighter, Time Pilot, and Gyros. It emulates via the arcade ROM, so as you would expect, it's a spot-on recreation of the original arcade game, both graphically and audibly. It does seem to play a bit fast, in my opinion. But interestingly, it's the only port to opt for the level select version of the game, as we discussed earlier in our video here. So it's interesting in that you can select the level, but we'll see how far we get. We're just going to play them in normal orders here, and see how far we can get. The PlayStation version of Circus Charlie on the Konami Arcade Classics compilation from 1999, and we're off to a stellar start. Okay. So, up next, we're going to take a look at another compilation port. This one was released for the Nintendo DS in 2007. And this is entitled the Konami Classic Series Arcade Hits. It features a few different games from the PlayStation compilation with the following lineup: Scramble, Tutankhamun, Puyan, Time Pilot, Track and Field, Rock and Rope, Super Basketball, the greatest basketball game of all time. Okay, maybe not. Road Fighter, Twin B, also known as Rainbow Bell, Kung Fu, Kicker, Gradius, Russian Attack, and Contra. Again, it's a spot-on recreation of the arcade originals via emulation. It's, I don't know, in my opinion, a bit difficult to play on the small screen of the DS, but it looks perfect. It sounds perfect. Take a look at the DS port of Circus Charlie via the Konami Classic Arcade Hits compilation. Alright, we're not even going to talk about that one. Apparently I suck at that version of the game. That wraps it up. the NES port was ported to the Wii U Virtual Console in Japan, at least. I don't know if it was in the US or not. But other than that, I think we covered them all. Outside of the compilation ports for the PlayStation and the DS, I think the Nintendo Entertainment System port is your best bet. None of the ports are outstanding due to the fact that they omit certain levels. Some of them have altered soundtracks. Like I said, the compilation ports for the the PlayStation and the DS are the most complete and accurate representations if you want them. As always, if you have a game you'd like to see featured, feel free to drop a comment below. I'll make my one and only appeal right now to hit that subscribe button if you like this channel and like what we're doing. It's going to be a busy next few weeks. We're going to take on some pretty big titles. Titles that have ports for numerous systems. So if it takes me a few days longer than normal to get those videos posted, please stay patient. But until then, happy gaming. Peace.